All right, Kristin, the stakes were high in the family, especially going into the holidays, and here you are causing tension between your brother right before the holidays.
That's what I do. We had a very special sibling court this past week where my brother wants the sleigh my dad built for his front yard decoration, but I want the sleigh that my dad built to put in our front yard for our Christmas decoration display. Now, I clarified this with Bert last week. It's not an actual rideable sleigh. It's just like a wooden decorative sleigh, right? And I have fond memories of this sleigh sitting in the front yard of our home growing up. Mom put these giant presents in it. And it was one of our Christmas decoration staples at our house that my dad built.
Core memory.
With his own two hands. I sent a text to my mom Friday during the show. Do you have a pic of Morgan and me in front of the sleigh Dad built? Thinking it would add to everybody going online to vote if you could see said sleigh. And then she responded with a text that rocked my world and has me now doubting everything from my childhood.
Uh-oh.
Because it's all a lie. If you have something you believed, and even like going into adulthood, you thought something of your childhood, and then your parents are like, no, that doesn't happen. 1-855-BERT Show, 855-237-8746. Mom's response, probably, Poppy built that for a Christmas party at the clinic, and we ended up with that. My dad didn't build the sleigh!
Wait, hold on a second.
Ooh.
Hold on. This is not...
Poppy built the sleigh!
First of all, who's Poppy?
Yeah.
Poppy was this sweet old man. He was always old, as long as Morgan and I knew. You know what I mean?
Like Morgan Freeman.
Yes. We met him. He was old, and I think he outlasted my dad. Like, he was just always old. And so Poppy worked at the same place my dad. My dad oversaw plants and grounds of this medical facility. They had multiple buildings, and he oversaw all the guys that did repairs and stuff like that, right? And Poppy was one of the men, and the clinic had a Christmas party, and apparently Poppy built this. Now, Mom goes on to say, Daddy might have helped him. I know there was one of you and Amanda, but I'm sure I have one of you and Morgan. And I'm over here like... Dad didn't build the sleigh.
Now, hold on a second. Something's not adding up here because your brother said he helped build the sleigh.
I know.
And you said, I watched you and Dad build the sleigh.
And I've listened to podcasts about this, how, like, you rewrite memories. Like, it's so crazy how the story evolves over the years. And this is why, because it's on my crime podcast talking about eyewitnesses, because eyewitnesses, they shouldn't get as much weight as they do because you misremember things all the time, right? And my brother and I must have just misremembered. And like, I can sit there, I can picture myself watching my dad putting this together. And I'm like, where did that come from?
Mm-hmm. Is it possible that maybe you and your brother, two separate individual people who remember this being built, are maybe right, and maybe it's your mom who's misremembering?
No, Mom's right. Sorry.
So once she said it, it was almost like you realized, like, I actually don't remember watching
My mom's got an incredible memory, and if like Poppy built it for the Christmas party, Poppy built it for the Christmas party.
I wanted it to not be true for you.
No, I'm sorry.
So your brother wasn't lying about saying that he helped your dad build it. That's just where he genuinely remembers.
That's what he thinks. And I mean, like, this is a sleigh that you have to put some pieces together to set it up. But as far as like actually cutting it and painting it and all that stuff, nah, man, Poppy did that.
Poppy did all the work. Hey, Nia, good morning. You too. It's a childhood memory that was completely inaccurate.
Yes, good morning. I am 40 years old, and my mother told us that our cousin Brian disappeared from my grandmother's house when we were little kids. Like, he got kidnapped, showed back up 3 or 4 days later, wouldn't talk, wouldn't tell anybody what happened. My whole life, my sisters and I thought this is what happened to him. So last year, I'm in front of my kids at my parents' house telling my mom, what happened to Cousin Brian? He's like, that never happened. We just told you girls that so you wouldn't, leave the yard or talk to strangers.
In that moment, it feels like such a gut punch.
Like, it's something you've literally believed your entire life. And then all of a sudden, the rug gets swept out from underneath you.
Good morning, Paige. You're part of the Bert Show. Hi.
Hey, good morning. So my dad used to tell us the craziest bedtime stories. And once he told us he used to be an archaeologist, and he discovered this ancient spider, and he named it after himself. It was the Arachna Patterson. And we found out, I was like a teenager when my little brother went to school one day for show and tell. He told his whole class about the Arachna Patterson. And our parents had to go in and explain to everybody that wasn't true, and that never happened.
Oh, damn.
Wow.
That hurts.
It does.
That really hurts. I think I
right.
told you guys before that my ex-wife's dad, when she was young, told her because she grew up in Pennsylvania, and in the hills, mountains of Pennsylvania, there are these deer crossing signs. And when she was young, her dad told her that the deer would look for the signs, and that's where they would cross the street, which she believed her whole life until she was in a car with a bunch of her sorority sisters at like 20 years old in college saying, "Oh, slow down. The deer might be crossing here." And they're like, what? She believed it her whole life.
All right, so regardless of this new information, Cassie, we still need the results of the sibling court. Does my brother get my dad's sleigh, or do I get my dad's sleigh?
Who gets Poppy's sleigh?
Yeah. All right. Well, the grand winner of Poppy's sleigh that Kristin's brother did not help build is at 66% of the votes, an overwhelming majority. Your brother is an incredible dude. I'm sorry to him because you're getting the sleigh.
I beat the Marine.
Yeah.
I beat the firefighter.
Yep.
I beat the man that gave my mom grandkids first.
You sure did.
Take the win, even though it's all based on a lie.
I know, it's all a lie.
The Bert Show.